G'day and welcome back to Murder Valley. Well, I've got to do some casting on some things, and I thought I might do a bit of a video about how I do these. So obviously this is the new Hot Wheels A9X Torana. I finally managed to get my hands on some. Had to get them from overseas. Paid way too much for them, but that's a different story. It appears the wheelbase is pretty close to 1.6, so it's not going to take too much to get that to fit. How we go on there? So the tab should make it inside the body. I'll have to grind the inside of the body out. As far as room goes, those rear arches are going to have to be moved, like increased in size and moved up the car. Otherwise, because I don't want it sitting, you know, like I don't want it sitting like that, just to be able to clear because that'll look a bit stupid. I want any cars I cast, I want to be able to use them for racing, so I want them to handle well. But I think that's going to make a pretty nice casting. But yeah, so for Bulldog, because Bulldog does 1.6, and look, I might be a little bit biased, I don't know, but I still reckon Bulldog's the best value for money hose lock car you can buy. Anyway, bang for buck, these things win, I reckon. Don't get me wrong, there's other good chassis made, they just cost more, but yeah, for price point, this thing smashes everything. Anyway, I am going to do some progress on how I go about resin casting. And yeah, if you want to stay and watch, happy days. It'll take me a little while to put this together, so I might not get it all done in a day, but that doesn't matter. I'll try and I'll at this stage I'm hoping to put it all in one video. So let's see how we go. I'll have to start drilling it apart. Yeah, that'll do. Actually, I might go one bigger. Have I gone far enough? That's a 5mm drill, by the way. I think I've gone far enough. Happy days. Alright, I'll have to grind that mount out. These things get quite hot doing this. There we go. Yeah, it sits way too high at the back. The wheel arches need to be a slightly bigger diameter too. How far have I got to go? Probably to the top of the arch. I found these Dremel bits are the best ones for die cast. It's a really fine fluted thing. It says on the pack it's designed for metal. Sorry, I don't remember the number. Switch to a larger diameter, but look, you get the idea. I grind these out, I'll hit pause and I'll do this for a little while, and I'll come back with more of the finished result, I think. If I turn that around, I've got to make it bigger, but I'm getting lower. I'll pause. Okay, so I've paused. I've had to remove the rear post as well. I've switched to a Super G Plus chassis just because it hasn't got tabs on it, to see how I'm going for height. I'm sort of tempted to go a little bit lower. I don't want to go too low to ruin it, but I'm thinking about maybe just going a little bit lower. Mainly for the front. I think the front sits a little bit high. Thinking race cars, you know what I mean? A little bit lower wouldn't hurt. I'll go a little bit lower. Okay, so I've ground the front and the rear. I've got it that little bit lower. I still haven't got it. I've got to take this arch down a little bit further. Obviously I've completely destroyed the tops of the arches and they will go. Right, so I'll have to I'll strip the paint off this when I've got it down to something that I'm happy with for height. And then I'll start filling the flares back in again with Epo Putty, which is what I use. Oh. Not the camera. There we go. Oh, sorry, I'm out of view. If I end up going too far, it doesn't really matter that much because I can always re-add the arch back in again. But what I'm looking at here is not so much the flare, because I've completely destroyed the flare. But I just want to get the sills of the body down low enough so it doesn't look like a four-wheel drive. I might take the front down a touch more. at the front. I've actually met the top of, you can see there on the flare, I've actually met the top of where the flare is when I've come through, but I don't want to go too far because nothing looks worse than just a flare that just meets the bonnet, you know what I mean? But I'm getting there. I'll keep working on it. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with the way that's sitting. That's low enough. What I need to do now is actually enlarge the rear arches out so they're large enough for the clearance of the wheels. And one of the ways I do that, if you ever wondered how much metal gets removed out of a die cast, look at that. So I work my way up through the drill sizes, and just run the drill both ways to round it, and then I step up to the next size. Going up 0.5 millimetre at a time. So 13 mils roughly what you need to end up at, which is 1/2 inch approximately for our American friends. But yeah, anyway, you get the idea. It's a painful process. It's difficult doing it in front of a camera. I'll keep going on this. I'll get this up to 13 mil because that's only a 12 mil. And then I'll come back and I'll throw it in some stripper. Alright, so I've got a 13 mil drill here and I've just sized it up and got it there. There is a lot more to die cast, I like resin casting a die cast, than just slapping a die cast car in a mould and being done with it if you want it to actually fit the chassis you're trying to put it on. Right? So the front of the spoilers are so thin now, like they're like alfoil, but I'll grind those off. Let's get it in some paint stripper. I reckon that's the next stage, and I'll need to, obviously I've still got the issue with the tabs being an issue. Now this body is so tight to this is actually going to cause me problems trying to get accurate mounts in this because of how snug the body is on the chassis. It'd be reasonably easy in something like this, but you know, anyway, doesn't matter. The point is, when I grind in, I'll grind into here to make a relief for where the mounts go, and when I've done that, and in the finished result, nice clean body, no slots in the outside, and nice snug fit, and I'll probably end up packing that little bit of width there. I'll probably pack that out in the mould before I resin cast it. But yeah, so much more work than just slapping a die cast body in a mould. But anyway, let me get some paint stripper. Alright, got a glass jar, and there's my paint stripper. I've been using this thing for a while, and it's only a little coffee jar thing with a plastic lid. Nothing fantastic. So drop that down in there. Can't see the point in cleaning the bottom of that out. Move that around. Part of the reason I keep it in the glass jar is obviously the paint stripper, when it vents to the air, loses its volatility, so it doesn't work as well. So I put the lid back on, and the idea of the tape and the cable tie, it builds up pressure in there and pops the lid off, and that's just enough to hold it. So I'll just leave that there for a little while and I'll come back. It'll probably only take about 5 minutes. Yeah, I was just checking on that, and there it is. I've gone and made myself a cup of coffee, come back, and there it is. But I'm not going to pull that out here. I'm going outside to where my sink is, and I'm going to rinse it off with water to neutralise the stripper. Alright, so it's back from the stripper. Interesting. Hardly touched the black. I'm a bit amazed by that, even on the side. And the black would have gone over the top of the white. But tip, if you're going to have a go at things like resin casting, things you want to make sure is that you clean out your body marking slots, because the resin does a good enough job, like your silicone mold does a good enough job to be able to copy everything that's there. So if you haven't got those clean, there, look at that bit, there's a bit of white in there, it just copies it. So if you lose a bit of detail, you lose it on every one you produce. This is why I really wish some of the guys who did 3D printing and made some of these amazing shaped cars went through and did this process. That you go through, clean the cars up, get some nice, clean, smooth bodies on them, and then cast the end result so you get a nice, clean car, every car, rather than every single body that you make having to be cleaned up the same way. It's like starting from scratch every single one. But yeah, I'll keep going on this. I'm actually hoping. Can I get that with a razor blade? It should be soft. I don't want to scratch. I don't want to scratch the die cast. That's my problem. I might go through and hit that with a wire brush or something just to rough that up, so the paint stripper can have a bit more of a go at it and put it back in the stripper. I think that's the answer. Right, so just so you can see some of the process, I've had a bit of a go there, but just roughing it up. The paint stripper will have more of a go at it now. Some of it's soft, some of it, like on the side pillar here, I got some of that off, couldn't get that side off. I mean, don't get me wrong, I probably could get rid of more of it, but I don't want to go too hard on it, because every time you do something to the body, you end up taking detail away. Like, I'll try to be careful, but I can't impress enough how important it is to try and keep the sharp details in these things, because when they're resin cast, that's what makes all the difference. But look, I'm going to go and throw this back in the stripper, and I'll come back. Alright, so I've had this soaking for a little while with the black, trying to get it so you can see it. It's still struggling with it, eh? Like, I don't know what sort of black paint they're using on there. It's good stuff, right? Anyway, look, it is softening it. I'll let it go a little bit longer. I think, looking at how long this video is, I'm going to have to do this in parts. There's no way. People aren't going to watch a long video. Like, I'll do it in parts. So if I finish this one up with the stripping and prepping of the body and getting the wheel arches right, probably if I do the next one, rebuilding the wheel arches, making new tops to the flares, and then putting relieves in and stuff for the body, for the body mounts, like the body tabs on the side. How I do that, that might be the way to go. Why am I sharing this stuff? I don't make any money out of these things. I don't sell them en masse. I only really sell them to the races. So I think everyone's crying out for more bodies. So give a man a fish and he eats for a day. Teach him how to fish and he lives forever. So I think the more guys at the moment that we get making cars, like making bodies, I think the better the hobby will be. We've got heaps of guys at the moment making 3D printed stuff, and that's great. But the beauty of how many bodies we can just walk into a store and buy, like I've mentioned in one of my other videos, like Hot Wheels, Matchbox, all these other die-cast cars that are out there. There's hordes of them. We've got all these chassis, but yet not many bodies to make for them. So I'm not going to sit there and try and make bodies for everyone to try and sell them. I've got better things to do with my life than sitting here in the garage. So yeah, so hopefully you guys learn something out of this and you have a crack at it yourselves. Anyway, I might wrap this video up here, and then I'll come back in the next one and show how the bonnet got stripped and start on all that other stuff I was mentioning before. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Remember, if you're learning something, share it with your mates. Like, subscribe the video. Give me some feedback if there's bodies you reckon that I should make. I've got a few others here. I've got a HK Monaro. I've got a XY Falcon GT Hoey, Commodore U, just a few of them sorts of things. All of those will fit the 1.7 mega G, and I sort of don't know what to do. I'm a little bit lost at the moment with the 1.7 mega G. I don't know whether I bother. I don't know whether I bother making bodies for it, because I'm just unhappy with it. But yeah, I don't know. But look, I had another Torana for years and years and years before Hot Wheels brought this one out. But it's too small. It's all wrong. It was never going to make it onto a slot car chassis. It's actually here you go. The comparison. The Hot Wheels one just has the right proportions for what I need. See, it's a bit wider. It's about the same wheelbase. I think this is about a 1.6, but it's too skinny. What brand's that? That's Biante, I think. But yeah, the Hot Wheels one, it's a little bit cartoonish in shape, but you know what? It's perfect. Perfect for going on a Bulldog. So there you go, happy days. This is what's happening. Thanks for watching. Come back and watch some more. I'll have some more updates as I get through it. Okay, last minute edit, because I've just pulled that out of the stripper, and that's cleaned that up. That's nice. I've fractured some of the flares, but that doesn't matter. That sits awesome. So I'm probably gonna have to cut, because it's got the little relief here on this side for the exhaust, and just as a bit of a visual of how much. Well, I don't have body pin like pegs anymore, but look at how stupid it looks now. Can't even get that to sit on there right. There we go. Look how stupid that looks now. So look how much I've removed. Some of the Hot Wheels blokes would get upset that I've done this, I reckon. I don't know. But yeah. Looks terrible. Looks terrible. But look, work in progress. Next video. This will be looking better. Anyway, thanks for watching.